What's up, guys? Bulletproof Tiger, bring you a little bit of Homefront. When I had bought the game, man, didn't really have much faith in it. Thought I was fucking around getting into a Medal of Honor type scenario, which I ain't gonna go into that, but everybody knows that game was garbage. At any rate, took a look at a couple of reviews. You know, they said the graphics were garbage and they looked last gen, and you know, I mean, they're not better than Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops or what have you, but they're decent. I mean, they're playable. I mean, it's not as if, you know, it just makes you sick when you watch it. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't think the graphics looked that great either. I don't know if it's just because, you know, I was fucking brainwashed by these guys or what, but after, you know, looking at the video here that I'm, you know, before I took a couple looks at the video before I did this recording, and you know, the graphics seem to be fine. I mean, they look a lot better, you know, when you're not playing, when you just can kind of take a look and take in the scenery. I mean, there's a few issues like here or there, you know, some of the weeds and the grass and shit, some of the textures on the walls and that sort of thing, and they don't look quite as crisp as it could or as some of the other games do. But for the most part, I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised. As far as the graphics is concerned, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10, I guess. I mean, +1, you know, -1, that sort of thing, but 7.5. That's what I'm calling it. As far as the weaponry, you know, there's not a lot of guns. There's, you know, a few assault rifles, which I think kind of makes up the majority of you know, most Call of Duty players as the current state of Call of Duty is right now. Most people, you know, roll assault rifles just because of the damage, the clips, the accuracy, that sort of thing. So there's a Vector, and then it slips my mind what the other one is. I don't even think I've played with it really, maybe once at any rate. 2 SMGs, man, not enough. I mean, they're gonna have to come out with some sort of weapons pack or that sort of thing. I mean, they're gonna have to come out with something in order to kind of fill that gap between the 5 or 6 assault rifles they have. I mean, they got just as many sniper rifles as they do SMGs. To me, you know, even if 90% of the community played with assault rifles, they still should have more than 2 SMGs. So, you know, there's, like I said, there's about 5 or 6 assault rifles. I don't remember right offhand. There's 2 sniper rifles. There's like, you know, 3, 4 maybe light machine guns. Who the fuck plays with light machine guns? I mean, there's a few people that do. You see somebody break an M60 out of their ass every once in a while, whatever. But for the most part, it's SMGs and assault rifles, and they just kind of really sold themselves short in the SMG department. So looking at the limited amount of SMGs, you know, and I honestly, I like to play with SMGs, but, you know, I play with assault rifles too. It depends on the map, whatever. 6, maybe 5.5, you know, as far as the weaponry is concerned. Sound-wise, audio, you know, it's up and down. I mean, some of the guns sound kind of cool, some of them don't. As far as like your Turtle Beaches, that sort of thing, you can definitely tell, you know, which way people are shooting from, that sort of thing. But audio-wise, I'm gonna give it probably a 7, maybe, give or take. 1 plus or minus 1 there, 1 or 2 actually. I guess it really depends on how much of an audiophile you are and whether that's, you know, a big part of how you rate a game. I know a lot of people weren't really happy with Battlefield and kind of some of the sounds. Some people really did like it, so, you know, I guess it's, you know, whatever your tastes are. But personally, for me, 6, maybe 7 on the audio. As far as the gameplay is concerned, it really plays like Battlefield, but it doesn't have that clunky kind of getting tripped over small, you know, debris, twigs and whatnot laying on the ground. It's not as clunky as Battlefield Bad Company 2, but it's just not quite as smooth as Modern Warfare 2 or maybe Black Ops is. I mean, it's kind of somewhere in the middle. But definitely, as far as the movements and mechanics and that sort of thing, definitely better, a step up from Battlefield Bad Company 2. Gameplay-wise, plays like Battlefield. The maps are huge, kind of like Battlefield. Kill cam kind of set up there is kind of like Battlefield. Overall look and feel, I mean, it's about on par with Battlefield. Battlefield might have been a little bit better as far as, I don't know, the game types. I mean, it's about the same game type. They kind of mixed Rush with Conquest, I think is what it was called in Battlefield Bad Company 2. So they kind of mix those two game types with this. I think it's called Ground Control. But definitely fun. I had a blast. It took forever to get in a fucking match. You can't at the current state. You can't get into a match with your buddies. I think maybe once or twice out of maybe 50 games that I tried to get into, I was able to match up with my buddies. But you know, pretty much I was able to play maybe 6, 8, 10 games max over the 2 days from, you know, launch night, which I didn't get to play till almost midnight, and then Wednesday I played a little bit more because I got out of work early that day and I was able to get on the sticks a little bit sooner. But matchmaking, that sort of thing, their ass is in deep trouble. And apparently, I guess as of Monday, they're gonna have more servers online, and I guess apparently they sold, you know, twice as many copies as they anticipated. But you know, my position, I kind of talked with one of my boys about this. 2D Fighter, we kind of were talking, and it was the case where if they stamped out, you know, 5 million copies, and they anticipated that they were going to sell 1 million, maybe 2, they should have at least had enough server space to accommodate for the amount that they sold, and at least, you know, 70, maybe 80% of the amount of discs they stamped out. And we know they probably didn't stamp out 5 million discs because I doubt they thought they were going to sell that many copies on launch. But at any rate, they should have been about 75, 80% server space for all the games they had for sale day one. And the fact is, even though they ended up selling twice as many, I mean, I can't imagine that they weren't like, oh, okay, well, we'll buy enough server space to accommodate this many, you know, millions of people, but, you know, we ended up only needing this many, so we'll just reduce our servers to here until, you know, we get more sales. But the fact is they didn't, and it ended up being a flop on launch. But most of the other games were too, you know, Modern Warfare 2 had the same issues, Call of Duty Black Ops had the same issues, so can't really hate on them for that. But Battlefield was the same way, so, you know, it's kind of disappointing, but, you know, what can you do? Hopefully Monday they'll have this shit up and running, and, you know, everyone will be happy. I doubt it's going to be the Call of Duty killer. I mean, Call of Duty is just such a great game. It is a great alternative for those of you that like to play Battlefield. I think you'll really enjoy it. I highly recommend picking it up. The only flaws in pretty much this review basically is you can't set it up for tactical. It only is default layout or southpaw, so that's kind of disappointing. And then the launch was kind of disappointing. But overall, I think it's a great game. I can't wait till it gets up and running and it's 100%. I think once, you know, people start buying into it, more people are playing it. It's a fun game. I highly recommend buying it if you have the extra cash. And you know, hopefully we can see you on some games. We're going to tweet it out and let you know when we're going to be in some matches with this and Black Ops and whatnot. So check us out, EmptyClipsMedia. That's where I'm going to be. Next time you hear from me, you got a special guest. My boy had Mike Tyson in this week. I got a special guest coming up next week, and you're going to see that on EmptyClipsMedia, so you got to tune in there. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. Pick up the game. Jump on the sticks with us. Blood in the Water. Bulletproof Tiger. EmptyClipsMedia.
Joe Montana was a quarterback, you idiot.
I said Joe Montana.